Welcome to the Business of Apparel Podcast. This is the place to learn how to start and scale your own apparel brand and fill it with loyal customers for years to come. I'm your host, Rachel Erickson, owner and CEO of Unmarked Street, and I can't wait to share this episode with you. Welcome back to the Business of Apparel Podcast, where today I am taking a community question and getting it answered for you because 9 times out of 10, if one person has a question, many other people probably have the same question. So we had someone reach out to us recently and ask, what the heck is the difference between Unmarked Street and the Business of Apparel? I hear you talk about both quite a bit, and we want to know the difference. Like, what am I actually listening to here? What the heck are you doing over there, Rach? Like, tell us the difference. And so what I want to do today is walk you a little bit through the difference between the two companies that I own, Unmarked Street and the Business of Apparel, tell you how they're a little bit different. And maybe this will give you some ideas too on if you are running maybe a side hustle to do some freelancing so that you can generate some revenue for your apparel line that you're thinking about starting. This might give you a few ideas on how to start separating the ways that you do branding, the way that you do actual talking about your two brands. A lot of times we tend to find that once we get into that entrepreneurial spirit, we all have a lot of ideas. And at the end of the day, protecting a certain segment of ideas or a certain segment of work from the potential legal ramifications of another segment of work that you're working on can be a really smart way forward. Now, you can just have one company or one LLC, and maybe you file for that LLC, and then you can kind of have umbrella companies underneath them, right? You can use that LLC as an umbrella. You'll have different companies underneath them. You can do what's called a DBA, which is doing business as, and then name your other company, but kind of put it all under one thing. I will say, though, that as I continue to move through the business world and I'm learning more and more, it can be more secure for you to go out and get separate LLCs for every single entity that you want to kind of create. So Unmarked Street was the very first company that I started back in October of 2021, almost 4 years ago now. We're coming up on our 4-year anniversary here in about 4 months. Unmarked Street was my way, just to be really blunt about it, of getting out of corporate. I had totally burnt out. I had actually gotten really physically ill from stress. I was diagnosed with clinical depression. I had it all. I was a classic example of a powerful woman in the workplace trying to do too much, getting too much put on her plate, trying to make it all work, trying to then come home, run a household, and figure out how to not go crazy. And at the end of the day, my body ended up being the one to say, like, hey, we can't take this anymore. Like, we're actually getting pretty sick. We need you to make a change. And so for me to be able to get out of that situation, my husband and I really started talking about what it would look like for me to go freelance. And instead of me working for a big corporate company where it seems like the same thing over and over again, and we tend to see the same struggles and the same issues and the same stresses inside a lot of different corporate companies, what would it look like for me to have my own business, to work for myself, and maybe see where we could take it from there? So when I was thinking about this, I was trying to come up with a business name, and I love to read. I started going back through a bunch of my old favorite children's books. And for some reason, I was clinging really, really hard to Alice in Wonderland. That's one of my favorites. I really wanted to come up with something from Alice in Wonderland, but everything that was really unique and like special is also super unique. Like if you've ever read Alice in Wonderland, you know that the words and the characters and all of the different stuff in there feels very Alice in Wonderland. So it kind of felt cheesy. It wasn't quite right. I wasn't really finding what I wanted. So I was flipping through some other old children's books and I came across Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go. And just like a side note here, I'm not sure if you've read that book as an adult. Like maybe the last time you read it was when someone gave it to you as a high school graduation gift or a college graduation gift. I'm 40, rereading that book right now. I can look back on my life and I'm like, I wish I would have read this book as like a serious book of advice. It is such a good book for entrepreneurs, for people starting out in their lives, people starting new adventures. Like the advice in that book is so spot on. It's kind of amazing. If you haven't reread Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss in a couple decades, like I hadn't, go back and reread it. You'll be really surprised to find how intuitive and just like how spot on it is. Anyway, I was rereading that book and came across a line that said, "You will come to a place where the streets are not marked." And that really felt 100% exactly where I was right at that moment. I was at that street and it was completely not marked. I did not know where I was going. I didn't know which way to turn. I knew I needed to get myself out of the situation that I was in, but what was next, I did not know. And that really, really spoke to me. And so I ended up naming my company Unmarked Street because of that passage and because of that way that I just felt about everything. And I felt that companies who are also in that position where they get to that unmarked street and they don't know what the next step is, they don't know how to move forward, they need someone who does know how to move forward. They do know the next processes. They do know the next steps. They need to be able to hire someone to come in to do that work for them, right? So that made a lot of sense to me for starting a freelancing company. So I filed my LLC, got my EIN number, started doing some freelancing. Several friends were throwing me gigs. I was getting a little bit of work on my plate. And Unmarked Street slowly grew over the years. So we now have a consulting agency. It grew a lot faster than I expected it to. About 6 months into starting Unmarked Street, I actually had too many clients on my plate. I couldn't handle the work on my own. And I ended up hiring a couple people to come help me. So now we're a team. Now we're an agency. I can call us like something completely different than just a freelancer, right? It's not just me. And so that started to evolve quite a bit. So Unmarked Street has become our consulting agency. Now at Unmarked Street currently today, we get embedded basically into different people's companies to help them with product development and business development. So those are our two big things. Our slogan says, Unmarked Street exists at the intersection of excellent fit and effective brand growth. And that still rings true today. Like we built that brand deck before I even started my freelancing gig, but that still 100% stands true today. We want you to have garments that fit a body in motion like nothing else possibly could. We are experts in product development and technical design. You could poke any of my team members or me at 3:00 in the morning. We would get out of bed and run the best fitting for a garment that you've ever seen. And so people hire us for those skills, right? We can either just do a tech pack for you. We can run a fitting for you. And those are some of our a la carte options. So you can work with us for very low cost on a very small project base and then see how it goes and move forward from there. We also have people who put us on monthly retainer. So if they want us to be doing many styles and they want us to be embedded in their company for however many hours a week, answering emails, working with their factory, taking that kind of work off their plate, that's how we work monthly retainer. Now, when we started, we were doing this hourly. And so we were billing our different clients hourly at our hourly rate. And what we ended up finding was that it was a really huge disservice to our clients because we were having to bill at a point where what they actually wanted to spend every month was getting overspent because we were billing on every single hour or half hour that we were working. And if we would have just been able to consolidate, move things around a little bit, be a little bit flexible inside a monthly retainer, they would have actually saved money every single month. And it would have then been worth it to me still because it keeps my books really steady. So when we do monthly retainer, I'm able to control kind of what happens. You know, this week maybe we're a teeny bit slow, but next week we're really busy. And it allows us to be flexible that way. And so by charging a monthly retainer instead of by hourly, we're able to keep your budget steady, our budget steady, and then we kind of just control the work as we go. So that's kind of what we've evolved into. Now we do product development, we do technical design. I have a product management background, so I help a lot with like costing and line planning. And then all of that rolls up into business development where we're helping you decipher your line. Are there products that aren't making any sense? We go through SKU rationalization processes with our clients. We help them get from usually where they're in a plateau or they're at that unmarked street. They don't know what's next. And we try to get them to a point where there's a process in place. Everything is just flowing. Everything feels streamlined. Everything feels easy. And now they can just kind of move forward, grow, start making sales, start putting money into ads and marketing, and really getting their product out into the world. So we have seen several clients grow exponentially. One of our clients on our books right now is planning to grow 35% over the next year. We helped another one of our clients sell more in a single week than they had in the previous 4 months after they started really getting the ball rolling. And we also do some smaller monthly retainers. So we're working with a couple of startups right now. And we're getting them to the point where they're receiving their production, we're monitoring their inventory, we're going to be helping them with purchase orders, factory management, all of that good stuff. So that's Unmarked Street. Think of us as like done for you. We're coming in and doing these things inside your brand. You can hire us to be a part of your team, take work off of your plate, and actually do the work that we're experts in. The Business of Apparel, on the other hand, was born from my love for talking all about the apparel industry and teaching everything that I know. I've learned a lot over the last 20 years being inside this industry. I mean, it's probably even more than that. I always say 20 years, but if I really thinking back to when I started even working retail as a teenager, it is longer than that. So I have all of this experience. I want to share my knowledge with you. I want you to know what I know. And so how could I get that information out? This podcast is part of that, right? We want this to be a free resource for you. So you can find out what I know as I start to put episodes out. This is a great example of an episode where a question came in and I was happy to totally talk about it in a brand new episode. If you have questions about the apparel industry and you'd like for me to put it into a podcast, please let me know. I would be more than happy to do that for you. Are you sick of being stuck on the sidelines of the apparel industry and you just want to be put in the game? Then join our 100% free workshop, Secrets Behind Billion-Dollar Apparel Brands, and learn the strategies, tactics, and secrets used by the most successful companies in the world. We'll cover everything from setting your brand standards to big brand line planning and executive level processes. In this workshop, you're going to learn how to name your target customer, rationalize your line, calculate product margins, roll up your revenue, and see potential profits while figuring out how to build a unique calendar for your brand. You're going to learn that and so much more. Are you ready to take your apparel business to the next level? Sign up today and use code PODCAST for a 10% discount on the full Business of Apparel online course or any of our mini courses after the workshop. Visit www.thebusinessofapparel.com/secrets to register. Don't miss out. So we want you to have access to several free things. We've got all kinds of free downloads. We've got more coming. We are working on a lot of that kind of stuff this year. And then we also have tools and templates that you can buy. So you could buy in and get a tech pack template. So the professional tech pack template that my team and I use for our high paying retainer clients is the same thing that you can buy for us for like $47 on our website. Super simple, super easy. Don't even put a thought into whether or not it's the right tech pack for you because it's something that we use even at billion-dollar and million-dollar companies. It will serve you well. You can buy line planning worksheets from us. You can buy Illustrator library tools from us. So if you're doing tech sketches and you want to have a stitch that looks really, really realistic, we sell brushes and symbols libraries so that you can make your tech sketches look super professional and super dialed. On top of that, we continue to build out our course suite. So if you've taken any of our mini courses before, we sell those for just $147. You can get in for under $150. If you are a part of the podcast, you have probably heard an ad throughout this episode saying, if you go there and you use the code, you'll get 10% off, even those mini courses. And so there's a lot that we put into those different kinds of things too. There's videos where I'm teaching you a bunch of different stuff. There's templates that you could buy online, but you can get them for free along with the course if you buy the course instead. What I want you to know by taking these mini courses or even the full big course is understanding the secrets behind the billion-dollar apparel brands. I've worked for billion-dollar brands throughout the majority of my career. They make millions and millions of dollars every single month. And I want you to understand the processes that they used to get to that point so that you, as you are starting, as you are building, as you are growing, as you are scaling, you're hitting plateaus, you need to figure out how to get to the next level. As you are doing all of that stuff, I want you to know what the biggest companies in the world did to get to where they got to. How did they become billion-dollar brands? That's what I am trying to offer in all of our different courses. Now, because we have also started an annual membership that started with my base Business of Apparel course, which is basically all of our different mini courses bundled up into one, we are also working on additional content for our annual members. So it takes about 3 months to get through the Business of Apparel course to understand all the secrets behind billion-dollar apparel brands. We're going to teach you all the basics so that as you get started, as you are getting ready for the next phase in your business, whichever it is, you know what those things are so that you can be planning and working smart from now. from this day. You've taken this course, you get it, you are going to start moving forward in the right way. After that first 3 months, we want you to go in and build your business plan. So now we have a brand new business planning course that we can also offer to our community. If you're an annual member, you get gifted that new course basically for free and all of the different templates that I put into it. And so our annual members are going to be getting direct access to everything that we're building. They've already paid up front for their year. A lot of the founding members came in at a ridiculous just $997 for an entire year, under $1,000, and they're going to get every single course that we're ever going to build. They're going to get every single template that we're ever going to build. They're going to get all of the support and help that they need every week by meetings with us one-on-one. Like I sit with you one-on-one in office hours with the community so that we can answer your questions every single week. They're getting all of that, and then they're getting grandfathered into the price. So the people who bought in at $997 back in March, if you were one of those people, you got really lucky, because for every single year that you choose to be with us from here on forward, it's under $1,000 to get access to all of that. And we are committed to continue growing this annual membership and growing our offering, growing our courses, growing our tools, so that we can be giving you, our community, every single possible option of information and of education that you could want about the apparel industry. Now, the price of that annual membership will continue to go up over time. It's gone up since we did our founders membership in March. And so we continually will get it to a place where it feels like it's of the correct value. I'm not going to lie. I think this annual membership is minimally worth $20,000 a year. And when I first started my company way back in 2021, like I was telling you about, when I started Unmarked Street, I wasn't making any money yet. I didn't have anybody calling me quite yet. It was like my first month. And my husband and I, we were talking about, like, part of my business plan that I had written was that I was going to need help. I was going to need mentorship. I was going to need some sort of business coach to teach me how to build a business. I can help you make apparel in my sleep, but running a business and building a business was something very new. Doing marketing, doing social media, doing sales, all of that was very new. And I knew I was going to need a mentor to help me with that. And I found a company that I loved. I found a mentor that I loved. And it was a $30,000 a year program when I signed up. $2,500 a month that I put into this coaching program. And after about month 2, I was making that money back and more, because I was utilizing the steps that they had taught me to grow my business, to correct my budget, to write my business plan, and to do all the right things inside my business. If I hadn't have hired that mentor, who knows where I would be today? I might not even still be in business, because I don't know that I would have known all the right steps. I don't know that I would have done all of the right things. And so my success definitely would have been stunted. So when I'm looking at the annual membership that we're actually putting out today, when I'm offering it to you for $5,000 for the entire year, or under $500 a month, to me, that feels like, oh my God, I would have jumped into that immediately right away. And so I'm taking those different coaching programs that I have been a member of over the last several years, and I'm putting that kind of energy, that kind of value, those kinds of lesson, that kind of support, I'm putting that into our membership at a price that is like genuinely bonkers right now. But we want to get more people in, right? We want you to feel like you can come in at a price that you can then lock in forever. You're going to get access to everything that we can do, and then you can grow with us, right? Like, that's the plan. We want you to be with us for decades. And if you lock in your price at $5,000 today for the entire year, that will be your price forever. And so that's what we're doing over at the Business of Apparel. We are trying to get that same information into as many people's hands as possible so that we stop watching companies shut down. That's essentially the gist of it. If we can't come in and help you by doing the work ourselves, because maybe that's too expensive, maybe our monthly retainer is something that you just can't afford right now. If we can't come in and do it for you and help you succeed and help you grow and help you prevent that day where you have to shut your business down, we want to at least teach you how and support you as you do it yourself. Maybe you can hire someone at a slightly lower rate. We are expensive. We are the best of the best. I hire the best of the best. We're very talented. We have a lot of years of experience. I'm not saying we're cheap. So I'm not saying that that's something that everyone should be definitely doing with us. I get it. But that is why we are offering lower cost solutions, because we want you to still have access to us, to learn from us. And then maybe you can hire someone who has a lower rate, but you know what you're looking for when you're hiring that person. You know how to guide them because you're learning with us. We actually had someone come into office hours just this morning who was talking about, I think I need to let someone go off my team. I don't think they're doing a good job. And we talked about it with them, with the group for quite a while. What are they doing? How are you feeling about it? Is there a way for them to improve? Can you put them on a performance improvement plan? If not, this is how you proceed. And those are the kinds of things that we're helping you as the CEO understand on a weekly basis. We also have group chats. So we have a private community where you can come in and send me questions any time of the day. The success of our clients and our members is 100% what the business of apparel is about. We want to see brands succeed. And the more and more that I see brands putting things out on the internet about shutting their doors or needing massive amounts of funding because they are way in debt. Or I even saw this post the other day saying, we haven't even received a piece of inventory and I owe $175,000 to my manufacturer. And I was like, oh my God, don't do that. Please don't do that. Please do not overspend at the beginning of starting your brand. And those are the kinds of things that we're teaching our members. One of our members actually came in, she had set aside $65,000 to start her company. She was getting ready to place her first purchase order, was getting ready to spend that $65,000. And we made sure that she went through a budgeting exercise, a line planning exercise to really check if that was necessary. And after she did the work with us, found out that she only was going to actually have to spend $14,000. Guys, she saved $50,000 at the beginning of her business because she was able to work with us and we were able to help support her in making the right decisions. Spending $65,000 could be right for you. But if it is not, because you're not there yet, like our member was, she wasn't quite there yet. She wasn't ready really to take on that kind of inventory, to have that kind of product coming to her. We want you to understand what your options are. And if you can save $50,000 by spending $5,000 to come be a member and get an entire full year of access, that's the kind of stuff that we want to be offering over in the Business of Apparel. So that's where we've got the courses you can take yourself. If $5,000 a year sounds like it's way too much, I also totally get that. You can take our DIY courses for so much less. And you can still learn all of the same things. You're just not getting the weekly support from us. But the courses are there for you if that's what you want. Our goal is for you to succeed, understand what's going on in the industry. It is a very complicated industry, and we know that. We've been in it long enough to be able to navigate the spaces. I had finally gotten myself into a leadership role at my last corporate job. I was able to sit in the room with the executives, the leadership, the C-suite to understand what they were talking about. And that's what I'm now teaching you. For the longest time, the apparel industry even kept secrets from people who were inside it. I wasn't invited into those rooms to sit at those tables for many, many years. And the fact that I was in the last few years of my corporate time is what has allowed me to build and grow what my company is today. So those are the two differences in my two companies. If you're interested in working with us in either of those capacities, we would love to hear from you. Again, if you're interested in taking any of our courses, just like our ad in the middle of the podcast said, you can use the code and get 10% off. We've had several people doing that lately, and they're really, really enjoying the courses. If this episode was helpful to you so that you could understand a little bit more about our businesses and what we do here at the Business of Apparel, please let me know. I would love to hear comments from you. And if you've got a little extra time, we would love for you to write us a review. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Business of Apparel podcast. I would so appreciate hearing your thoughts on the show. And if you know someone who could benefit from it, please share it with them. My biggest desire is to help other apparel professionals understand the nuances of our industry so we can all work toward making better product for a better world. If you would like to connect further, I'd love to invite you to send me a message through my website, thebusinessofapparel.com, where I do weekly trainings through my YouTube video channel, a weekly newsletter, blog articles, and so many more resources to help you start and scale a profitable apparel brand. This podcast is produced by Box 7 Media, who I cannot speak highly enough of. If you're looking to start your own podcast, you can reach out to Jeremy at Box 7 Media on LinkedIn anytime.